Today we're going to be talking about solving logarithmic equations. So when you look at these problems, if we hadn't already talked about how to write things in exponential form, I would think that these would look kind of confusing. Okay, but if you know how to get rid of the logs by changing these into exponential form, it should be pretty easy. So on example 1, how do I change that into exponential form? 3 to the 4th power equals x. So we've pretty much solved for x, haven't we?
No.
We have. X is by itself, but you should simplify. So what is 3 to the 4th power? 81. So x equals 81. And we're done. Okay? All right, example 2, I'm going to give you about 15 seconds to find the answer to that one on your own. And if you want to get whiteboards out to show me, because some of these are going to go pretty quick, you can. All right, so I'm actually going to pull some popsicle sticks today. All right, so first one up is Nucci. What would you do? Good. X will equal 2 to the 5th when you change that to the exponential form. And my final answer is going to be, she is not here. This is in the wrong class, so my goodness. Shannon. Good. X equals 32 is the correct answer. Okay. Example 3. For a popsicle stick, I would like you to tell me how I write this in an exponential form. So again, for a popsicle stick, how do I write number 3 in exponential form? Jet. Three to the x power, because it's always this one to this power, equals. Good. Okay, so looking at this, can I get this so that it is just a plain 3 base? Is there any number that I could put in for x that will end up giving me a negative number? No. So what's my answer? No solution is correct. Very good. So there's no number I can put in for x to make it a negative 3. Okay, and there's also no way of changing a negative 3 into a base that's just a regular 3. Okay? All right, example 4. Again, I'd like somebody to tell me how to write this in exponential form. So how do I change 4 into exponential form? Joey? No. So you always take your base, which is 2, and you raise it to this power. So it's going to be 2 to the x power equals, and then your answer is always that big number. Okay, 2. So now, do these have the same basis? Yes. What is the exponent on this 2?
1.
It's a 1. Therefore, when we drop the bases, what is my answer? 1. Questions so far? All right, moving on to example 4. Again, for a popsicle stick, I would like someone to tell me how to change this into exponential form. Connor. Very good. X squared equals 64. Now, how am I going to solve this? Again, for a popsicle stick, I would like someone to tell me how to solve this. Eric is not in this class. That's weird. Chris Crane. No, it's a different Eric. Sorry. It's Eric Galiendo. See, that's not you. Right?
That's not me.
Yeah. I'm not crazy. Okay, so Chris Crane, what did I say? Very good. Square root both sides. And so what would my answer be? Very good. X equals 8. And why, normally when I take the square root of both sides, it would end up being plus or minus, right? But why is one of them not minus? We cannot have a negative base. That's why it is not negative. It's only positive because you cannot have a negative base down there. Okay, example 5. How do I change this into exponential form? Chance. No. So the negative 1/2 equals. No, it's okay. You got it. Equals X. So it's always, and it's weird because of the fractions. They confuse people, but you need to keep them in the same order. So 1/25 becomes our base. This is my exponent, and X is my answer. This number right here is always what it ends up equaling, okay, by itself. Okay? So this becomes our base, our power, and that's what it equals. Okay, so who thinks they know what to do in the next step? How do I get rid of that negative exponent? Adam. Exactly. You flip your fraction to get rid of that negative. So now I have 25 to the 1/2 power equals X. Great job. Okay, so next is how do I find what 25 to the 1/2 power is? So again, how do I find 25 to the 1/2 power? Courtney.
Why did we flip 25 and not flip the half? Because the half has the negative sign.
Right, you are correct. But when you're getting rid of a negative, you are flipping this one. You're moving it from the top to the bottom or the bottom to the top. Okay? So again, my question was, how do I simplify 25 to the 1/2 power? Serena Foster. Exactly. Square root of 25 equals X. And what's the square root of 25? 5 is correct. Okay, example 6. I would like this person to tell me how to change this into exponential form. Austin.
3 to the x power equals 0.
Very good. 3 to the x power equals 0. So, is there anything that I can put in here for x that will end up giving me 0 as an answer? Because if I plug 0 in here, what is 3 to the 0 power? 1. If I plug a negative 1 in here, what does that become? 1/3. So is there any value that will give me 0? Therefore, what is my answer? Very good. No solution is correct. Okay, example 7. Again, my question is, how do I change this into exponential form? Serena Medina.
X to the negative 1 power equals 4.
Very good. X to the negative 1 power equals 4. Okay, how can I get rid of this negative 1 power with the x so that it becomes a positive? Two-chain.
1/4.
That's the correct answer, but we don't know how to get it. You just gave us the answer.
I didn't hear. I just heard 1.
No, it's okay. So how would I get rid of that negative 1 exponent? Do you know?
Oh yeah. You gotta find a fraction which will make it to.
You are thinking totally mathematically like a puzzle, and you're trying to figure it out. But there's a way to do it specifically, and so how you worked it out is totally fine. But for those of us that don't quite get it, anybody know? If you raise this, if this is a negative 1 power, if I raise this to another negative 1, what's a negative 1 times a negative 1? So then I'll have x to the positive 1, but whatever I do to one side, I have to do to the... So that means I'm going to raise this to the negative 1 power, right? So, no, it does not make negative 4. How do I get rid of 4 to the negative 1 power?
1/4.
You flip it. It becomes 1/4. Make sense? Sure. Okay, number 8. For Popsicle Stick, who can tell me how this should be written in exponential form? Courtney. Exponential form. All you're doing is rewriting it. Shh. How do I rewrite it?
5 to the x power equals 25 to the
25 root 5. Yes, perfect. Okay, who thinks they know what to do on this problem? Okay, only 2. Chang, Astrid, only 2 people think they know. Okay. Krista knows how. Anybody else think they know how to set this one up? Joey, you think? Chris? Okay.
You know the answer. You need to do it.
Okay. So this is, we had this question on our test last time. Right, we want them to all have the base 5, right? Good. Okay, so 25 as base 5 would be 5 to the second power, or 5 squared. And then how do I write root 5 as 5 to some power?
1/2.
5 to the 1/2. If you have 2 bases that are the same, you add their exponents. So can you guys add what 2 plus a half is? 2.5. Good. So we have 5 to the x equals 5 to the 2.5. So what is my answer? 2.5. These cancel. X equals 2.5. If you change that to an improper fraction, it'd be 5 over 2. 2 times 2 is 4, plus 1 is 5 over 2. So, or 5 over 2. Okay, example 9. Please help me change this into exponential form. Eric Stoner. Perfect. Okay, what am I going to do next in order to solve for x in this problem? Chris Akers. Exactly, like bases, 27 into 3. So 27 is 3 to what power? Good, 3 to the third. And because we already have a 2 up there, I have to multiply it by 2. So 27 changed to 3 to the third power, and then we just have to multiply by what else is still there, right? So now my bases cancel out. Very good. And Courtney just told us x equals 6, because 3 times 2 is 6. Okay. Questions? All right, 10. How can I change this into exponential form? Michael Lawhead. Now, does anybody notice anything about this problem? Jessica. Good job. Jessica and Brianna both saw it has a negative base. Did I really even need to change this into exponential form? No. Anytime you have a negative base, your answer is going to be what? No solution. We cannot have a negative base. That's why x couldn't be positive and negative 8, right? So anytime you have a negative base, the answer is just no solution. That is not possible. Okay? And back in like our first unit, remember how we did the graphs where when you had a negative base, it didn't work out right? It was all over the place? Do I need to go back and flip through our notes? Okay. Negative bases do not work. Okay? All right, last one, example 11. Change this into exponential form for me. Josh Jackson.
X to the 3/4 power is 27.
Okay, who knows how to get rid of that 3/4 power? Samantha Rossetti. How do we get rid of that 3/4? Yes, you do. It has something to do with you want them all to cancel out, so you have to raise it to the reciprocal power. Very good. So we're raising it to the 4/3. Whatever I do to one side, I do to the other. Those cancel. Okay, how do I rewrite 27 to the 4/3 in root form?
3.
Good. The cubed root of 27 to the 4th power. Cubed root of 27 is 3, and 3 to the 4th power is 81.